Good afternoon and welcome to NTV at 1. My name is Olive Burrows. We start this afternoon with news from the courts. And the Court of Appeal in Nairobi has this morning ordered a retrial in the sexual assault case involving two rugby players, Frank Wanyama and Alex Olaba. The hearing of the appeal case was held via Zoom due to the coronavirus pandemic. Justice Ngenya Macharia ordered that the duo now be held at the Kilimani police station, awaiting a fresh bail hearing. Wanyama and Olaba, who have both represented Kenya internationally in rugby, was sentenced to 15 years in prison by Milimani Chief Magistrate Martha Mavoko in August of 2019. The duo, who played for Kenya Harlequins, had been found guilty of gang raping a female singer at her birthday party in Nairobi's high-rise estate in 2018. An assistant chief from Mwala in Machakos has been arraigned for allegedly defiling a minor in Kadheka village in Machakos County. Midhanga Assistant Chief Daniel Kisilu is said to have committed the offense on Saturday evening. The victim is a Standard 8 pupil from Kadheka village, and the administrator, together with the co-accused Veronica Mbinya, appeared before Senior Resident Magistrate Charles Odiek, where police secured 7 days custodial orders to piece up their evidence. The minor is currently at Mwiso Children's Home, where the culprits have been remanded at Masi Police Station.
This court finds merit in 2 of the 5 grounds. First, that the first respondent, being a person of immense influence, may, and I underline the word may, interfere with witnesses. And secondly, in the interest of the security of the second respondent, it will be appropriate to hold the second respondent for some time. Reasons wherefore this court grants the application but limits the period of detention from the requested 14 days to 7 days. The officer is directed to produce the suspects in court next week on the 7th July 2020.
Muslim leaders have opposed the Reproductive Healthcare Bill 2019, currently before the Senate. They said the bill, tabled by Nakuru woman representative Susan Kihika, advocates for underage sex, including, actually she is a senator, and they say it advocates for underage sex, including family planning, assisted reproduction, and safe motherhood. The leaders also said the document contains proposals on the termination of pregnancy, which has triggered the backlash. The bill, however, only provides for termination of pregnancy under exceptional circumstances, including when the mother's life is in danger or when the child faces complications incompatible with life outside the womb.
Do hereby totally reject the Reproductive Health Care Bill 2019 on the following grounds. A, constitutional and legal grounds. Number 1, lack of clarity and ambiguous intent of the bill. While the Constitution Section 26, Article 4 states that abortion is not permitted unless, in the opinion of trained health professional, there is need for emergency treatment or the life or health of the mother is in danger, this bill introduces a dimension at Section 26(1)(c), which states that a pregnancy can be terminated if there exist substantial risks that the fetus will suffer from severe physical or mental abnormality that is incompatible with life outside the womb, is not defined and opens the door for abuse. Unless you are a prophet on how would one tell that physical abnormality is incompatible with life.
The rift between Kirinyaga County Assembly and Governor Anne Waiguru has deepened after the Assembly slashed the entire budget of the County Secretary's office for this financial year. The office had been allocated 111 million shillings in this year's budget. The members have also slashed the administrative legal fees from 60 million shillings to 1 million shillings. The MCAs are accusing Waiguru of misappropriating and embezzling county resources at the expense of development in the county. The Assembly's Budget Committee has accused the governor of non-cooperation and sabotage during the budget-making process.
We've requested for a number of information documents from the executive side that was supposed to assist the members of the county assembly in finalizing on their budget, but this has not been forthcoming because the CCs are telling us they are under strict instructions from the governor not to give any information, any documentation that is being requested by the members of the county assembly.
In this financial year, Mr. Speaker, 60 million was set aside for legal fees, Mr. Speaker. I'll leave this for the Kenyan to know who are these people who are offering the legal services, Mr. Speaker. Everybody saw them in the Senate. It's like that every day, every week, every month, Mr. Speaker. Isn't it not a shame to give the people of Kirinyaga that $1 million for bursary, but put 60 million for legal services, Mr. Speaker?
To Nakuru County, where the Governor Lee Kinyanjui has rubbished impeachment claims by a section of members of his county assembly, terming it a witch hunt and misplaced. While a motion of impeachment is yet to be tabled at the county assembly, some MCAs say the centralization of county procurement in Lee Kinyanjui's government leaves no room for oversight.
We are not in office courtesy of them. We are in office courtesy of the people who elected us. And our responsibility is to safeguard public interests. Consequently, we cannot and shall not give in to any attempts to untwist the executive to do that which the law does not allow. And whether it's to do with procurement or whatever other things, I think our position is very clear, that we cannot do anything that can put public interests into jeopardy.
84% of Kenyans from low-income households say that the COVID-19 pandemic has greatly impacted their daily livelihood, while 54% are now unemployed. According to TIFA Research, who conducted the survey, 63% of Kenyans from low-income households have reduced earnings, while 43% have lost their source of income. This doesn't just mean a reduction in savings, but also reduction in expenditure, even on food supplies, as many families are now forced to skip meals. The report further indicates that many households have been forced to adapt to the sale of personal items and productive assets such as land as a survival mechanism. More than 9/10 of those who have experienced a loss of income mention food and non-alcoholic drinks as the main area in which their spending has been reduced. The Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions has asked the judiciary to fast-track the date of allocation for the hearing of the case of the shooting of Felix Orinda, popularly known as DJ Evolve, by Embakasi East Member of Parliament Babu Owino. This is hours after NTV aired the desperate plight of DJ Evolve, who is now bedridden. The DPP is now pushing for the fast-tracking of the case due to public interest. And in case you missed it, hear from DJ Evolve himself as well as his mother on what life has been like following the shooting.
Account of things, what happened on the fateful day?
On the fateful day, no, it's okay. Niko na emotion. Sitaki kuongea story ya huyu. Sitaki kuongea. Okay, vile nilipata ripoti ya kijana wangu ati amepata accident pale pake pa kazi. nilikuwa shocked. And niliona kila kitu imeturn upside down. Lakini nilirudi kwa Mungu wangu. Nikaambia Mungu, ishatendeka. Usimame na mimi na uniokolee mtoto wangu.
How are you feeling now? You're doing better. Okay. Right now you're able to move your hands a bit. Okay, but that's some good progress from before. Okay. So now how do you get like your upkeep? Kazi yako imesimama sasa ndio ili uweze kuja kumuona ama iko vipi?
Tangu 17th January kila kitu ilisimama upande wangu. Singefanya chochote na mtoto wangu wako hivi. So mi niko tu na yeye always since 17th January up to now. Amekuwa hosi kwa mwezi 6. So kama mtu ataweza sema ati mimi ndio nilisema tolewe, mimi sio daktari. Nijue kama mgonjwa ametosha kuenda nyumbani ama bado anafaa kwende akae hospitali. Niliona kwa gazeti na nilikuwa shocked. Sijawahi ongea na mtu yoyote wa media. So hizo reports zao waliandika juu yangu wasemadha. Sijui pahali walitoa. Mi concentration yangu ni kwa huyu kijana wangu apone. Bill ilifika 17 million point something. So a week before the week tulitoka, niliona ilikuwa alishalipa, babu alishalipa 7 million, but hiyo ni agreement ilikuwa kati yake na hospitali. So yeye ndiye analipa, hapo siwezi sema kitu kwa hiyo bili iko juu yake. Yeah.
What kind of care is he getting from home now that he's here?
Okay, akona nurses wale alipewa na daktari ndio wako na yeye hapa. So ako under home care.
Mkenda kotini, what are you hoping to get?
Justice for my kid. Only that.
Na babu amekuongelesha wewe?
Hajawahi muona. Hatujawahi ongea. Na ile machungu ninayo siwezi ongea. Mimi huwa naongea tu na Mungu wangu. Siwezi ongea. Siwezi ongea. Kwa sababu naona kama maisha ya mtoto wangu imeharibiwa.
There was a report that you had forgiven the person who did this to you. Maybe just clarify. Okay.
That report is also available on the NTV Kenya YouTube channel, so be sure to subscribe. We take a break. We'll be back shortly.
Sonadol Extra imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli kupambana haraka na maumivu ya kichwa, mwili na hata meno. Sonadol Extra, Hakika, maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
Who wants to answer? Mary?
Mary has a toothache.
Oh, I see. And who knows why?
Because her tooth is too big.
No, it might be a hole in her tooth called a cavity. That's why I brush twice a day using Colgate. Imagine this is your tooth and these are food acids that cause cavities. Colgate with calcium and fluoride helps prevent cavities. Who protects our teeth? Colgate! For maximum cavity protection.
Explorers of the night, wale wase wa kuhustle usiku, kustreama movies, music mix diehards, and gaming fanatics. We've heard you. It is now your time to fly your flag high. Do what you love, mpaka che na Telkom. Join Usiku Sako with Telkom night bundles that allow you rule the night at prices you love. Join our tribe, Usiku Sako Squad. Just dial *544# from your Telkom line and select the night bundle of your dreams. You are the legend the night needs.
Oya cheki, kuna vile sasa muziki manze, kuna vile inajipa manze, yani na cheki. Maanisha tu tunajibamba, yani very regular.
Kitu ya muhimu kwanza ni kujua hali yako ya status ya HIV.
Kwa hapa hivi tuwapeleke na Rieng, tujue venye manze tutasaidiana si kama vijana. Na kama unaogopa kwenda pale hivi kwa clinic, unaweza pitia pale hivi kwa chemist ya mtaa. Uitishe a self-test kit na wanauza 500 bob only. Unajitestia tu mtaani, unajua hali yako.
Manze na ukiweza patikana nayo, yani uko positive manze, usiogope. Kuna madawa yani jo, kuna counseling manze. Unaweza kula fit yani, alafu unaweza piga bado ma exercises kiasi hivi. Na kama nyewe manze ukiweza patikana yani hauna manze, usiasi tu unaenda kutafuta tena.
Cheki. Ukiweza abstain.
Lakini maji yakizidi unga,
wrap it before you tap it.
La bila gloves haiwezi.
Unapoendelea kujikinga kutokana na HIV, tafadhali zingatia taratibu zote za serikali za kujikinga na virusi vya corona.
Afya bora, maisha bora. Jipime, jiinue.
My father worked hard. And he made sure I did too. Because of him, I studied every day. And I did well. He helped me start my first business. It's only now I understand. My father always had big dreams for me. And now, my dreams are the same as my father's.
In 175 years, we've learned that times change, but what matters never will.
Thank you for staying with us on NTV at 1. Dozens of families were forced to spend the night in the cold after hired goons demolished their houses in Mavoko. Affected families said armed youth arrived in the area and they were ordered out of their houses. The attacks are said to have been occasioned by ongoing land ownership wrangles, pitting the families of a private developer eyeing the prime piece of land against those occupying the property. The goons destroyed several semi-permanent houses and a perimeter wall. Residents claim this is the third attack in the last month.
Tumekuwa tukipitia shida. Kuna watu wanakuja kutusumbua usiku. Usiku wa leo wamebomoa manyumba. Watoto wetu wamepitia shida, wamelala nje.
Sisi ni makaaji hapa, tuko na zaidi ya miaka 30 hapa. Hatujai kuwa na hii shida.
Familia wale wako hapa ni kama 2000 zaidi. Na hofu yetu ni kutoka wakati huyu hospitali alikuja hapa mwaka hii, hatuja kuwa na amani hapa Athiriba. Tumesumbuliwa sana usiku kila mara. Na yeye mwenyewe tukimuuliza, yeye anasema anasimamia haki ya wakubwa yake. Sasa hatujajua wakubwa yake ni nani.
Medical services in Busia were disrupted after health workers went on strike on Monday. The health practitioners are agitating for promotions, among other demands. They claim the last time the county government effected promotions was in 2014.
Patients seeking health services at Busia County Referral Hospital are frustrated after they failed to get treatment following a strike by health service providers. A spot check at the facility revealed desperate patients in long queues with nobody to serve them.
Lakini kufikia asubuhi
hali zilibadilika. Tumetolewa nje wakati wa cleaning.
Mgonjwa wangu alifanywa operation mwezi yenye imeisha hiyo. Na nimekuja hapa saa 12. Nimekaa kufika saa 4 wanatuambia ati daktari wamegoma. Sasa sitapeleka hapa wagonjwa wetu.
More than 1,000 workers issued a strike notice last week citing delayed promotions, arbitrary transfers and lack of PPEs among other grievances. They claimed the last time the county government effected promotions was in 2014.
Sisi kama county tunajua ya kwamba tumefanya vilivyo kwa upande wa kazi. Na ikiwa kuna mfanyikazi pengine ameamua ya kwamba hataki kufanya kazi, nafikiri kufikia Jumatatu sisi pia kuna sheria ambayo tutafuata.
Hiyo porojo ambayo wanasema kwamba wamepromote 2 cadres, hakuna yeyote ambaye amepokea barua ya promotion. Tunawaambia kwamba wapromote watu kama wako na nia kupromote.
The workers insist that the strike will continue as planned because the county administration had not addressed their grievances.
The Kenya police are on the spot after they were ranked high as the main perpetrators of violations against human rights. In a report dubbed Pain and Pandemic, the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights says between the 17th of March and the 6th of June, they've recorded 10 cases of loss of life and 87 cases of torture, all implicating the law enforcers.
We also, in this report, we have looked at access to justice, and you are very much aware that the usual way of doing things, especially accessing our courts for dispensation of justice, was also affected. Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions strengthen and employs alternative prosecution processes to reduce the number of cases being sent to the courts and prioritize cases resulting from COVID-19 and public health regulations.
The Kenya National Union of Teachers has challenged parents in the North Rift region to take parental responsibility to curb the rising cases of teenage pregnancy in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. NAT executive member representing Rift Valley, Martin Sembelo, said many girls in the region have been impregnated and sexually abused during this time of COVID-19. Sembelo attributed poor parenting to rising cases of teenage pregnancies that have seen parents in urban centers send their children to their grandparents in the villages as they remain in the cities. He called on religious leaders and local administrators like chiefs and their assistants to protect children.
Wasichana wengi wamepata mimba wakati wa likizo. Na nataka sasa nitoe wito kwa wazazi wetu kwamba hii jukumu la kuchunga watoto sasa wakati huu ni ninyi. Si wa wasichana peke yao. Wengi wamejiingiza katika tabia ambazo si nzuri. Wengine wameenda pool na kadhalika. This time all round, tunataka tuhimize all administrators katika area yao ya jurisdiction. Kama ni sub chief, assistant chief na kila mahali. Kila mtu achunge area yake. Waangalie hii watoto wako randaranda wako happy.
Religious leaders in Embu County are urging the government to move with speed and open up places of worship. The clergy says the country is experiencing increased family breakdowns, domestic disputes, depression, as well as moral decay in society. The religious leaders took issue with politicians who continue to ignore government directives on social distancing by holding meetings, yet places of worship remain a no-go zone, terming it a double standard. At the same time, Runyenye's Member of Parliament, Eric Mushangi, called on Kenyans not to support the proposed bill on abortion that is being fronted by Nakuru Senator Susan Kihika.
Kufunga kanisa, wasiwe wanaongea, hili watoe mausia na mwelekeo wa kiroho. Maana ni lazima vyote vitatu viweze kuandamana: utawala, siasa na kiroho, ili tukaweze kuwa na serikali iliyo na mwelekeo.
We believe that life begins at conception. So we do not in any way support abortion. We want to tell our people and our Christians to uphold the values and to treat human life as it should be treated. It is God-given. So no one should have the right to terminate life.
As hundreds of hotels that had suspended operations over the coronavirus safety concerns prepare to reopen, the cost of adhering to new stringent measures will be high, and they'll be higher than expected. The coast tourism and businesses stakeholders are now calling on government to give rebates and waivers on rates and licenses, since the businesses greatly affect the livelihoods of locals.
The cost of doing the business is higher, and that's why our chairman was saying a little bit earlier that any incentives which can be given to us will be very much appreciated. Because as it is, everything we are doing is extra. I mean, we are expected in every room to give what is called a safety kit. All these are extra costs which are coming in. The whole process from the minute you arrive at the entrance of the hotel, or even being picked from the airport, and the way you progress until you reach the hotel. So a long time ago, for example, we would want to come to your room as many times as possible. The new protocol is once we clean up a room, we seal it. And we agree with you how often you want us to come into your room.
A woman has been arrested in connection with the murder of her lover in Nambala, Busia County. The body of the man was found beside a dirt road meters away from the suspect's house, bearing what appeared to be several stab wounds. The woman was rescued by police from an outraged community baying for her blood. It is alleged that the incident was as a result of a love triangle gone wrong. The murder is said to have been committed by the second man, who has since fled, with police now investigating his whereabouts.
Washughulikie landlord, pia ako na la kujibu, sababu landlord hawezi sema kwamba hakuona mtu mwenye aliua mpangaji wake, na huyo mpangaji wake amekufia kwake.
Na mimi nilisikia usiku watu wakipigana, na serikali imwambia sisi kufika saa 3 mtu akuwe amelala. Hata singeenda polisi, sababu polisi wenyewe walikuwa nje. Mimi hata ningepita wapi? Nikitoka kwenda polisi na polisi wenyewe wako nje, mimi singefanya chochote. Kwa hivyo mimi hata sikujua ati walibeba wakapeleka hapo. Nilikuwa nafikiri ni askari wanapiga walevi.
Steve informs me that it might have read Nambal, but it is actually Nambale. Avocado farmers in Bomet County have been urged to join cooperatives so as to benefit from a revolving fund set up by the county to finance farmers in their ventures. Agriculture and Livestock County Executive Kipchumba Towet said that this will also help them fetch better prices for their produce. Towet said that the county has supplied 80,000 subsidized avocado seedlings to farmers in the county and is currently scouting for better international markets for farmers.
For this area, we are focusing mostly on the Hass variety, which is the best for export. Even though we have also Fuerte, but we know for local consumption we can use Fuerte and other varieties. But in this particular instance, we are providing Hass variety, which we have partnered with international companies to buy for us. The first group of the Hass are now ripening. We have given out 78,487 seedlings of avocados. They're selling 70 shilling per kilogram. That is the market price for the Hass variety.
Warren Kiru is in the building with the sports news.
Thank you, Olive. It is time to play on NTV at 1. I am Warren Kiru, and we'll start in the hospital with former Harambee Stars Captain Musa Otieno being hospitalized, I should say, at the Mbagathi Hospital after testing positive for COVID-19. According to reports, Otieno was admitted at Kenyatta National Hospital on Friday and then moved to the Government Center for Treating Coronavirus. Among those who have taken to social media to wish him a quick recovery is Football Kenya Federation FKF President Nick Mwendwa. Otieno, popularly known as Otieno, had a stellar career with the national team. He featured for Tusker and AFC Leopards and also played professionally in South Africa. Since COVID-19 hit the country, Otieno has been in the forefront helping vulnerable Kenyans in low-income areas through his Kick Off to Hope organization. wishing him a quick recovery. On to English football, and Burnley moved up to 8th in the English Premier League after a hard-fought 1-0 win at Crystal Palace on Monday night. A header from captain Ben Mee, who was making his 300th appearance for the Clarets, and then the win. Sean Dyche's side moved above Arsenal and Sheffield United and on to 45 points, level on points with Tottenham Hotspur, who have played a game less. Burnley, who have lost just once in the last 10 games, can now hope for a push towards possible Europa League qualification. In tonight's action, Brighton will host Manchester United.
So the opening goal, so it is back-to-back 1-0 wins for a patched-up Burnley. Some achievement from Sean Dyche's team.
In Spain, Getafe kick-started their bid to finish in the top 4 in La Liga and qualify for the Champions League by beating Real Sociedad 2-1 at home. 2 goals from striker Jamie Mata and them a first victory since March, with Adan Januzaj on target for Sociedad, who are also bidding to qualify for Europe's elite competition. The victory took Getafe into 5th place in the standings on 52 points, 2 behind Sevilla, who occupy the final Champions League qualifying spot in 4th. Sociedad, meanwhile, slumped to 4th successive defeat and now lies 7th in the table on 47 points. In the peak of tonight's action, Barcelona face Atletico Madrid, while Sevilla take on Leganés.
Real Sociedad, architects of their own downfall.
The Formula One season finally gets underway this weekend, although in a disrupted and reduced form to what fans had looked forward to at the start of the season. This was set to have been a record-breaking season for the sport, with 22 races taking place globally across the year. However, now only 8 events will be held at select venues around Europe. Things kick off with a double bill in Vienna with the Austrian Grand Prix and the Steiermark Grand Prix taking place between the 3rd and 12th of July. Strict guidelines to deal with COVID-19 have been put in place by Formula One organizers. Meanwhile, Mercedes has announced that it will race in all-black colors in the 2020 Formula One season as it pledges to fight racism and